Museum. I'm joined in studio by our ENCA journalist, Risha Chiba, and from East London via Skype is Uncle Kenny. Thank you very much, Risha, for joining us. Uncle Kenny, a refreshing morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Dudu, and good morning, viewers.
Congratulations on the book. I think maybe let's just start by charting through what it actually took to get to this moment.
Well, Dudu, it's been a long journey. My family have been nagging me for many, many years to do something. I've told them so many memories of North End. And about 10 years ago, when I turned 70, they asked me, please, to journalize these notes. And I've lettered by. And I just realized, good gracious, next month I'll be 80. I better do something. And so for Heritage Month, I managed to have the book done and launched. And just for us to reflect and remember the memories that are fading so fast of our life and times of the suburb of North End in East London.
When you talk about District 6, you don't have to even wonder what you're talking about. Hey, our knowledge of it is so vast, but when we talk about North End, many people don't know. Perhaps just give us a quick history lesson.
Yes, certainly. It's unfortunately, we in East London don't have the resources to have facilities like the District 6 Museum, and even in Port Elizabeth, they've got the South End Museum. And this is something that bothered me and so many others. And so my wife and I and family thought, with all the photographs I've got and the stories I've got, and invited some friends to help me with this, let's put this into something beautiful. We printed a book in A4, a coffee-sized book, full color, glossy paper, over 300 pages, over 400 photographs, looking back at the times and our history of North End. And in that book, I've journalized from humble beginnings, our families and friends, and then the times of apartheid, the dates of all those years that under which we suffered on those laws are all mentioned in the book.
I mean, this is such incredible work, and definitely recommend that everyone gets it, because even the pictures that are here actually capture what it is that happened back in the day. But what has been the response? I'm curious to find out from the community.
Yes, sorry, Dudu. The response has been absolutely overwhelming, and has been touched our very hearts. My wife and I have been praying for this, and by the grace of God, we managed to launch this book. And one of the things I should mention at this stage, for over 45 years, when I was coming one day from church, I saw how the houses were demolished, and that broke my heart so much. So I picked up my camera and went around and took photographs of these streets and houses that were demolished. And I had it put away for all these years, almost 45 years. And now I'm releasing them now in this book, and they're exclusive. They've never photographs that have never been seen before. And also to show you the evils of apartheid, what happened in North End. You see pictures of a bulldozer ready to move into the streets. You see people still living in houses, but some of the houses are demolished. And the response has been so overwhelming that I've been getting so many calls, all from abroad and locally as well, that it is bringing tears to their eyes. The book has got laughter, it's got politics, it's got joy, but also a lot of anger. And the main thing to do is my wife and I and my family want to leave something for this London community to have, to remember of where we come from, who we were, and the sacrifices our parents made for us. And it's incredible when I look all over the world and in South Africa, the results of these young people who came from those humble beginnings. They're now professors and doctors and lawyers. And this book is to aim to remind them, and each and every one of us, and my children and future grandchildren and the others will follow, to look back and see the history, because we don't have the facilities of the museums, as we say, in the bigger centers. But God willing, this book will awaken people's reminder of the people of North End, and what a wonderful community we had there.
Sure. Someone who was part of that community, albeit a little bit later on in her life, is joining me in studio here. We have a surprise for you, Uncle Kenny. Risha Chiba is someone that is very well known to you. She's in studio with us because she has a special message from her sister and her mother, who grew up in East London there.
Yes, Uncle
Yes,
Kenny.
we were neighbors. She was like my daughter.
Uncle Kenny and I lived next door to one another. My dad had built a home after they moved out of the North End, so he's very close to my heart. My sister, I spoke to her earlier this morning, Uncle Kenny, and I want to read like some of the things that she had like often reminisced to me about. And in the book, she shares it, and she reminded me that in the North End, everyone celebrated big occasions, no matter where they came from or how much they earned. Guy Fawkes, New Year's, Christmas was like a tremendous occasion, you know, and everybody was out in the streets. And she reminisces and says she ate mulberries in the backyard, writing on the front stoop and the walls, selling oranges to the kids in the streets, and playing shop, hide and seek, going to the library in Brayside Road. All these memories, it's all chronicled here in the book.
Sure.
And I'm so proud of you, and thank you. Thank you for putting it together and binding the past for us.
Uncle Kenny, how does that make you feel, just to get flowers while you can still smell them?
Well, I'm so emotional, bringing tears to my eyes. I'm so emotional. I remember the Timber Farm family so well. We lived right next door to each other when we were forced to be removed and to put new homes in a new area. And Risha, of course, is a very special man. She was a little like our daughter. And so the other siblings, a lovely, lovely surprise. Thank you, Dudu. Thank you to you both for those kind words that you've shared. And that was Milton Street, eh?
Yeah.
Yes.
Risha, I mean, your family, your house is actually on the cover of this book. What was life like for your family?
Well, for my family, they didn't have much. I mean, often at times I would speak to my dad, and he would always talk about Milton Street. And the penny dropped last night when I was reading a portion in the book. They were mentioning a lady by the name of Nani who had like this general dealer on a corner. And my dad used to always speak about her all the time, and I didn't understand who she was. So it's like, for me, growing up in Braylen, like where we were like told that's where we had to live, it was very like insightful just to like delve into the past and have some sort of like a glimmer of like what my sister's life was like and what my dad's life and my mom's like, you know, early marriage years were like.
Uncle Kenny, thank you so much for this. You're such an inspiration. It's never too late to really do something that has an impact that will go beyond what it is that you were put on this earth to do. Thank you very, very much for sharing your time with us also this morning. And we're so excited that this is actually going to be in the history books and in museums. Unfortunately, we have lost our connection there.
I really do hope so. And we are having a launch this afternoon, and a second launch at the museum.
Unfortunately, that connection is very shaky, but thank you very much. I think we got the gist of that. And thank you, Risha, for coming through this morning.